The envelope was waiting for Samantha when she got home, slipped under her door. The thick parchment paper felt strangely heavy in her hands, as if it weighed more than just the words. No postmark, no return address. Just her name typed in that eerily perfect Courier font, and a mysterious emblem, pressed into the blood-red wax seal. The symbol resembled the Mercury emblem in astrology, but twisted into something more sinister, with serpent's fangs bared and wings sharpened to knife points. An invitation. She showed her partner after debating whether or not she'd want to go or to take him along with her. Mike was in the middle of going off about the new administration again after another late-night research session before she slid the letter across the table. She loved him, but he was a total geek. He immediately jumped to the assumption that this was a secret society as he slid the letter back across the table. I mean, of course I'm going, but this is definitely some Illuminati-level shit right here. Normally, she'd dismiss his ravings, but holding the envelope now, she felt the hair on her neck rise. I'm not even sure we're going. Samantha already realized that she was going to take Mike if she was going. The wax cracked when she broke the seal to read it again. Inside, a single sentence. The truth is a weapon. Bring your ammunition. 8 p.m., Friday, the old Brenner warehouse. The paper smelled faintly of bergamot and gunpowder. Mike nearly choked on his cold room when she told him that they were going the next morning. This is it, he hissed, vibrating with the excitement that made the Formica table rattle. This is the kind of invite that either gets you a Pulitzer or you get disappeared. His fingers left sweaty prints on the expensive paper as he examined it like some kind of ancient holy text. Samantha rolled her eyes, but carefully folded the letter back into her jacket pocket. She'd been digging into Councilman various shady land deals and campaign finance irregularities for months, hitting wall after wall. If this was some elaborate trap, at least it would make one hell of a final story. Well, we're going, she said, more to herself than Mike, but we're bringing the recorder and pepper spray. Brenner's warehouse loomed at the edge of the city's industrial graveyard, its broken windows like empty eye sockets staring down at them as they pulled into the usually deserted lot. Samantha noted the conspicuous absence of luxury vehicles. No black SUVs with government plates, no hired muscle standing guard, just their dented Honda and a single flickering sodium vapor light over a rusted steel door. See? No fancy cars, Mike whispered as they approached, his breath fogging in the October chill. That's a good sign. Means there's not feds, or worse, politicians. The moment they stepped past the entrance, Samantha's phone signal died. Not the usual spotty reception. Full, complete electronic silence. The air smelled like old paper and damp concrete, and something faintly metallic underneath. Inside it felt like a factory that was just renovated into a movie theater. A young man in a sharp vest and too perfect posture waited behind a folding table that looked wildly out of place against the crumbling brick walls. Please leave phones, recorders, and any electronics, he said by way of greeting, sliding 2 thick leather-bound journals across the table. The covers were embossed with the same twisted emblem that the letter bore. You'll get them back after. House rules. Samantha hesitated, her hand hovering over her phone. The clerk, if that's what he was, didn't blink. No gag orders, he added, catching her suspicion. Write whatever you want in the journals. Take photos with the disposable cameras provided. Just nothing digital leaves this building. He gestured toward an entrance to a separate room where there were more journals and disposable cameras. They walked in and Mike took a camera. Samantha suspected that he had no intention of taking pictures and that it was more of a souvenir. The space had been transformed into something between a war room and a stage. About 30 people milled about in the dim light, some examining the strange journals they'd been given, others whispering in tight clusters. Samantha recognized a few faces. Beat reporters from local papers, at least one independent blogger, even a rep from the local ACLU chapter. No one from the major networks, no one with real institutional backing. They'd gathered the misfits and the troublemakers, she realized. The expendables. The lights dimmed further as the door creaked open stage left. A man in a burgundy suit that cost more than Samantha's car emerged, arms spread wide like a carnival barker greeting a fresh batch of rubes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first and possibly the last meeting of your lives. His grin was all teeth. his voice a velvet hammer carried to the back of the room without seeming to rise above conversational tone. Then, without ceremony, he pointed to a woman near the back. "You? Jessica Keller from the Tribune, wasn't it?" The room froze. "And you? Mateo Rios? City Watch?" Two men in dark shirts materialized from the shadows, escorting the stunned journalist toward the exit. The host sighed dramatically. "They took a hefty amount of money from the same very shady donor. We'll spare you their particular flavor of objective reporting." A shocked murmur rippled through the room. Mike was scribbling furiously in his journal, and his handwriting degenerated into near illegible excitement. Samantha's stomach tightened. She'd worked with Keller on a piece last year. How the hell did this guy know things that even she hadn't dug up? When the doors clicked shut behind the ejected reporters, the host's demeanor shifted instantly. No more carnival act. He rolled up his sleeve, revealing forearms covered in intricate tattoos that looked like some bizarre fusion of circuit boards and alchemical symbols. "You're here because you've seen the rot," he said, pacing the makeshift stage. "Not just the surface-level corruption. You've seen how the money moves. The dark patterns. The way a bribe in District 12 becomes a campaign donation and District 3 becomes a charitable contribution by the time it hits the islands." Mike was practically glowing beside her, his knees bouncing like a piston. Samantha, slightly annoyed at how much this guy probably knew about everyone, leaned forward. "And if we say no thanks to whatever this is?" The host's smile returned, colder now. "Then you walk away tonight and we never speak of this again. But I'm confident that you won't." He snapped his fingers and assistants began moving through the crowd, handing out thick manila envelopes. "Your assignments are in here, along with login credentials for our network. If you accept, we will be working with investigators and analysts from Open Secrets." Samantha's envelope contained a familiar name, Councilman Veria, with columns of transactions she'd never seen before, routing through shell companies in Delaware to a private equity firm in Luxembourg. The dates went all the way up to this week. She must have been in the same order of shock and awe that Mike was in earlier. The host encouraged everyone to introduce themselves and get to know the unfamiliar faces. As the meeting broke up, the too-perfect clerk reappeared, handing each and every attendee a folder that turned out to be a life insurance application form. Mike blinked at his. Why would we need... "Because some people really don't like wrecking balls," the host called cheerfully from the stage. The uneasy laughter that followed sounded more like a nervous tick than genuine amusement. "You are free to decide how the funds are distributed. The policy will be paid by us." Back in the parking lot, the cold air felt like a slap after the warehouse's oppressive atmosphere. Samantha's phone buzzed to life as soon as they crossed the property line. She was invited to an encrypted file-sharing app. She accepted and downloaded the app to find a single folder labeled Veria Holdings Update. Mike whooped, slapping the hood of their car. "Open Secrets. Sam, they are trying to publish every bit of money in politics." He was already flipping through his journal, sketching some elaborate web that connected 3 different state senators to a pharmaceutical company she'd never heard of. But Samantha stood frozen, staring back at the warehouse. The clerks, security, or the host didn't park with the guest. No security cameras on the exterior, just that single flickering bulb swaying in the wind, casting long shadows that looked for a moment like grasping fingers. Mike didn't notice her hesitation. "We're gonna need more notebooks," he muttered, already lost in his revelations. Samantha tucked the envelope carefully into her inner coat pocket, right next to the letter that had started it all. The weight of it pressed against her ribs like the first faint kick of a pregnancy. Something new and irrevocable taking root. "Or more blood," she thought as she slid into the driver's seat. The engine turned over with a cough. Behind them, the warehouse got smaller while the feeling in her gut only got more pronounced.